throwing things at me?
I know. I'm trying to give you the hint to get them. No, it's not. There's both channels coming, but here. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I wasn't finished being set up yet, but I want to make sure this is okay. 1, 2, 3. Does it sound good? 1, 2. Okay, awesome. Thanks, man. All right, bye.
Okay. Color balance is good and everything and everybody. Brightness, I don't need to turn it down.
Get up there.
I got fish,
You look good.
Do I need to turn down my light? Nothing like that? It looks fine?
Looks good, yeah.
Okay.
Got a little bit of time, but I just got to jump down.
Okay.
Wait, I'll give you a call back in a little bit when the festival started. It'll be closer to 9.
Hey, what's up? Oh, okay. Yep, shot is up. I'll be aware. Hot mic. We're all good. Yep, I can hear you. Actually, come. I'll talk to you and say your name. Yes, I hear you, Eric Zott. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? That's okay. Yeah. Okay, you got it. Okay, thanks, dude.
It depends.
not going to cut it. It'll just be part of the normal newscast. Yeah, I mean, well, it's not even. This is. We're waiting until like 8:30. Yeah, I mean, put it this way: if someone's going to talk, we'll dip in to give an update. You know, that there's been an arrest made and such. But yeah, it's not going to be a special newscast.
Thanks for the heads up. That's good to know.
You know, I'm not 100%. I just got here, so I'm here to assist. So I really don't know which one. I think the woman over there would definitely know. I'm not. She took very good video. I'm not sure. Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, usually it's pretty loud when they do that, or sometimes if they struggle to get them out, they'll do a flashbang. I don't know if they did that or not. That's very intense. Yeah. Doing something tomorrow? Yeah. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Sunday I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
How are you? My name's Philip. Philip.
Isaac.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you new?
Yes, I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy family.
Okay.
Where are you from?
No, I've been here for 10 years. 10
You
years.
would stay away from the kind of
It's good to see you outside the office, too.
He's good
Yeah,
people.
yeah, why you got two crews out here?
Well, he's in training. I came to assist with the last shot for patrol. I came to the last front. Well, I was flying. I was all the way downtown Phoenix.
No, dude, I was so pissed when we were down there earlier, and I saw I saw Phoenix police helicopter flying up and down for like 2 hours. I called my desk. I'm like, they're doing something out here. Like you need to send Sky 12. Like, you need to have the chopper flying up and like finding what they're doing out here in this desert. And he was like, I'll ask, but like they didn't. And then sure enough, that email sent out. My assistant manager called me. He was like, so you remember when you called me and told me that we couldn't Sky 12? Yeah. Well, they arrested him right then. I was like,
Well, if you're looking for a curve, you can I knew I wasn't with the recorder, so I didn't bring an IP, but if anything, I always use the phone anyways, but I'll dial it. No worries.
No, I sent them in via. What?
I think so. I can ask you.
Oh, she's
Yeah. I'll find out.
Okay, cool, thank you.
One of them.
No, once she briefs, we'll still be here. Yeah, because we're doing.
Oh, gotcha.
Our other apartment.
Where are these?
So if you see where the police, the racing guys are.
Yep. That.
Yeah. Yeah. If you follow this all the way through,
Yep.
the split on the way.
Okay, and the sun
No, it's facing out. Yeah. So these are the last ones. Yeah, it is for being
I mean,
hot already.
we're gonna love it no matter what. I don't know.
Yeah.
These are perspective.
Yeah, this is the wash.
Yeah, whatever.
About a mile and a half.
Stay there.
That's why it's going. All right. Give me 1 second. Can you see me? All right. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check. 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 Thank you.
Not me. Is that how that works?
Rushed.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
We should be fired up now. Huh? I texted. Call me.
Hey, one more time, Chris, just double checking. Audio's good from me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sounds good? All right, awesome. Thanks, Chris. It should be starting literally in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I don't think we need it anymore. We got different color temperatures now.
No.
Yeah, it's considerably different. We got a white balance.
What balance do you have yours at?
I'm at 4,400 before.
For Paul one? Yeah, it's well that one's 47. So
Oh, no, you're fine.
You guys good on sound? Anybody need a sound check?
Yes, please.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. Hang on a second, sorry.
Yep.
You guys ready? Okay. I think everybody's ready.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here. I'll start with my name. It's Melissa Solis, Melissa, Solis, Soliz, Sergeant with the Phoenix Police Public Affairs Bureau. So many of you have known since April 29th, Saturday morning, our detectives have been working tirelessly on this brutal murder case of Lauren Heike. We know that not only this tragedy has affected the family, but it's affected this neighborhood and the entire community. With the family courageously speaking yesterday during our press conference, we received an outpour of support and tips called in. So I want to say thank you to the community for calling those in and being extra vigilant out there and aware of what's going on. Our detectives have been working tirelessly around the clock. Since this happened, they've been getting little to no sleep. They've been processing evidence, following up on leads, tips that are being called in, and that has ultimately led us here to where we're at today. Behind us, our detectives are serving a search warrant at the man's apartment, and he was taken into custody this evening around 6:30 p.m. This is going to take a while for our detectives to still sift through all this evidence, process it, collect it, and hope to have some more answers later. Currently, this man is at our police headquarters where he is being interviewed by our homicide detectives. Again, this is still very early on in the night in this investigation. We are not finished. Our detectives are going to ensure that every piece of evidence is looked at carefully, every angle, and continue to give their full effort on this case. We are hopeful that by tomorrow we should have more information as far as what led us here to the arrest and possibly further details about what we can say about this homicide investigation. With this man taken into custody, I can tell you that he is the same person that was shown on the video clip that we shared with you all a few days ago. With this information, we hope that the community tonight can rest a little easier knowing that this person's off the streets. So again, I want to say thank you to the community for their outpour of support and calling in tips and leads when we needed it. And of course, the media for sharing this story and keeping it alive for the Heike family. It's going to be limited information as we are still currently interviewing this person and processing this scene. But if you guys have some questions, I can take them.
Do you believe he had any connection to the victim at this point, or does it appear that this was totally random?
It's a great question. Our detectives are still in the middle of their interview with him as we speak. I'm hopeful that by tomorrow we'll be able to release some type of information and be able to explain that.
It sounds like you're saying that a tip led you here. Is that accurate?
It's through many forms of investigation and investigative techniques, evidence. The exact details on what led us here, I'm hopeful that tomorrow we'll be able to have some more answers for you.
Including a tip.
Again, tomorrow I'm hopeful that we'll be able to have some more answers, but I can tell you that the evidence that we've been collecting, processing, and going through has led us here today.
Are you able
Did
to
you
tell
have
us
a
the
name
age?
before you got here tonight?
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
age?
are you able to tell us the age of the suspect?
Yes, I can tell you that this man is in his early 20s.
His name?
We do not have that information. Once he is finished being interviewed, he will be booked into jail, and we will release his name and information.
Without telling us his name, can you tell us when you guys knew his name?
At this moment, I don't have that exact information.
Was he found through DNA?
Again, the specifics on how he was found and what led us here, I'm hopeful that tomorrow we'll be able to release some more information. I can tell you that just by processing evidence and following up through investigative techniques has led us here today.
Is this his residence?
He does live here.
He lives here? Is it his unit, or does it belong to someone else? And was there anybody else living there?
As far as who's on the lease and who lives here, this is something that we're still sifting through and trying to get all the exact
Does
details.
he live alone?
Again, this is something that we're hopeful to have some more answers to. We're still in the middle of processing the scene and learning all of that information.
We have video of it looks like possibly his mother was also taken into custody. If so, why was that? If she was arrested.
We only have one person right now in custody. As far as we're going to talk to multiple people. If there's any people that were here with him in the same apartment, everyone's going to be talked to. Again, this investigation is going to be ongoing. It doesn't end today. Detectives still have a long road ahead of them with interviewing people and trying to piece everything together.
Can you tell us if he had a criminal record?
That's something that detectives are going to be looking into.
There's video of a loud bang from this area. Can you tell us what that was?
This is the first time hearing of it, but I'm not sure. I don't want to guess or speculate.
So can we still say he's the suspect who committed the murder, or how would you kind of phrase that of the man who was arrested today?
Right now, he is the person that we believe to be responsible or in connection for the murder of Lauren Heike.
And there it is. That's the update from Phoenix Police tonight, talking a little bit more about the arrest of a man in connection with the high-profile murder of Lauren Heike. Not a lot of details in this. A lot of, we're going to wait till tomorrow to reveal more, but two pieces of information that I do think is critical. Number one, he was arrested where he lives.
Right.
So he lives right next to that trail.
Right next to it. Very convenient.
That is big. Also, they confirmed that the suspect that they've taken into custody is the person who was seen running on the video
that we've been showing.
Yes. So we have that confirmed. We now know that was a huge part of the investigation. I'm kind of going through the analysis of this on the back end, the criminal investigative end. We have been told by multiple credible sources that DNA is what linked him to this murder.
And for whatever reason, they didn't want to talk about that.
They didn't want to talk about that. Now, something that I've learned, I was talking to a former cold case detective earlier tonight, a homicide detective, just about how they go about these kinds of investigations.
Okay.
Something that's really important is they have not released her cause of death, right? They still did it in that press conference. Right. And he was talking about why they usually don't release that. A lot of times it's because they're still working through the evidence. And so if somebody knows...
And they're still interviewing him at PD headquarters right now. So if they announced, oh, she was stabbed, whatever, we don't know. But then that information could get back to him and he could change his story.
He could stop. Exactly. So it's exactly that reason. Everybody wants to know, but they still want to get the full story from him first. Also, too, you did hear people ask, is there anybody else who's involved in this case? If there is anybody else who's involved, they don't want to scare them off, too, that they could be onto them as well. So I think that's another reason why they haven't released her cause of death, and they also were not confirming tonight, what linked him.
So basically, they don't have all the pieces of the puzzle together. They've got their guy, they think.
Right.
But as far as the entire story goes and how this happened and what exactly happened, they are literally putting puzzle pieces together. They got their main one in place, but as far as the story and how it all played out, they don't know quite yet.
They don't know quite yet, and then there's probably part of that they're just not publicly releasing because they don't want to compromise this investigation anyway, right? They want to get the most information out of him possible, and the way to do that is to approach him, to have a conversation about it so that he doesn't feel pressured. That's how they usually get these people to confess more.
And one of the things that one of the reporters asked, which we did not get an answer to, is whether or not this man knows or knew Lauren Heike, because that really changes the element. If this was a stranger attacking a stranger, or if this was someone that was known, there was a past beef.
Yes, and I think what's going to come down to that key information, cell phones. Her cell phone, where was it at the time? Where was his cell phone at the time? Are there any sort of messages, any sort of connection that these two had for any reason? Now, in terms of the DNA, and the reason why we are talking about DNA is because we did get that part confirmed. They were able to match so quickly, and the reason for that is because our sources say that he has a criminal record, and that is why his DNA would be in the CODIS system, the law enforcement database. That's why they were able to match this so quickly. If you're going off of DNA here in this case, like we're being told, you wouldn't get a match if somebody wasn't already in the system. And so that is crucial to making some sort of arrest. But now they're going to want to look at his pre-crime behavior and his post-crime behavior to figure out what led him to this kind of attack.
They've got his name, obviously, they've got her name. I would assume that the phone records, they've made a connection if there is one. They know that if these two people had a connection, they already know that.
You would think so, yeah. I mean, and when I asked that detective earlier, I said, how important is a cell phone? The word he used was invaluable. Yeah. There's really nothing more that tells a story than location and messages and communication on a phone.
Well, that's interesting too, because the two things they know is they think they have their man, and they know from technology and the phone records if these two had a relationship or if they knew each other. Those are critical. So I wonder why now, if that's the case, if they know or if they don't know.
Right.
They're so mum about it in this press conference.
And they said that they were serving a search warrant on his apartment. Very interesting to see what comes out of that too. There could be evidence that leads them to more about this. We don't know what the weapon was either, or where that weapon went.
Or if there was a weapon.
We just don't know exactly what was used in the means of death.
Correct.
But there's some things that could paint the picture of what he was doing in the hours before her murder, and then the hours and the days after. So I think that's something we're going to watch here. But yeah, we didn't get a lot of information from that press conference. I think that they'll, when they get more of their ducks in a row, they'll reveal more tomorrow.
So we've got about 1 minute left here. We're covering the high-profile murder and arrest involved in the murder of Lauren Heike, a man in custody. Police at this point are just saying that a man in his early 20s was arrested, but our sources are telling us that the man is 23 years old. We've also learned from police that the man they have in custody is the guy that we saw on that grainy surveillance video sprinting away from the scene last Friday. Running, around 10 or 11 a.m. just after Lauren Heike was murdered. This week, Lauren Heike's family spoke to the media. It was really emotional to hear from them. She's from Washington State, so they flew in, and they just talked about how she was a beautiful soul inside and out. And police are saying that the tips, as a result of that, really helped them out.
Either way, it's just a horrible situation. We will, according to police, know a lot more about what happened tomorrow when they have their interviews. They're going to have search warrants. They're going to interview more people. So hopefully we'll have more answers tomorrow. Brianna, thank you. Great work. We're going to do a full recap here in about 10 seconds on 3TV's News at 9.